Hi, my name is Casey Gillambardo, and I'd like to talk about a strategy I use called OAI, which is short for Observation, Analysis, and Interpretation. Often we like to jump to conclusions, both as students and as adults, without taking the time to look at the specific details of the stimulus or the photograph or the data that we're looking at. So this is a strategy I like because you can use it for math and science and English and social studies. You can use it with younger kids. You can use it with adult learners as well. So I'd like to walk you through the different parts of the graphic organizer. I made a class version that I always do in the board, and students will have a hand copy of this as well. And then talk about a few ways I've used this. The first thing you got to have is a stimulus. This can be a series of photographs. It can be a piece of data like a pie chart or a timeline. It can be lyrics to a song. It can be a text or short text. But you got to have a stimulus that you want students to examine in detail. The first thing they're going to do is make observations. I have found that this is the hardest part for my students. They often like to jump to inferences, so this is where they have to point out something that's a fact, not what they think it means. So for lyrics, it might be this author used this word 4 times in this song. For a statistic, it might be I noticed that the trend is going up after the year 1200. I noticed that 90% of people responded yes to this question. In this photograph, I noticed that this person is standing in a desert. There are things that you can point to, not what you think they mean. I usually will have students do this individually, then they'll kind of share it in a small group, and then the small group will report out ones that they think are the most important that are going to kind of cast light on the rest of our unit or the rest of our lesson. Once I pull them up on the board from each group, we then do an analysis for each observation. So here is where they, kind of draw conclusions. Like, what do they think this means? If the rate is going up after 1200, what do you think? What do you think caused that? If 90% said yes to this question, what do you think that means, or what does that tell us? And so we do an analysis for each observation. Then, when we're done for the interpretation, students will craft 2 to 3 sentences where they'll look for trends and themes within their analysis in order to kind of come up with an interpretation about the importance of the lyrics or what the statistics are telling us, or piece together what those photographs mean about what we're covering. And so this is a lesson that can take as short as 5 minutes, especially when you've done it so much. Where students can do this on their own, or as much as 25 minutes if you really want to have full on group discussions. I would caution that I would give them sentence starters for how to make observations that are fact based for the first few times you're doing that, because that tends to be an area that they struggle with. All right.